great.
I need to put that on my calendar. Remind Jules to record.
Thank you. And great win, Tina. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. Anybody else have any great wins they want to share? Let me see. I'm looking in the inbox. Jules record. That was Kate. Then she had to come off of mute and tell me. Let's hear from Michelle. You know what? You're not on the call a lot. Let's hear some wins from you. I know it's hard for you to get on this call. Mm,
I
let me
got it.
got it. I'm
Got
gonna
it.
mute and I'm gonna mute Tina because I think she's okay. Go for it.
Um, Couple wins. I would say going into February, well, coming off of like the whole holiday season, I would say we talked about it a little bit. I was kind of in a funk, and I think it was just I was so busy and doing so many things with Christmas and the holidays, and then um all of a sudden there was like nothing I had to do. I mean, outside of obviously taking care of myself.
Mhm.
And so I was in a just kind of a blah state of mind and um blame the weather on that as well. But I would say, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, all of a sudden I am back at it, or not back at it. I didn't stop, but my mental part of it is so much better, and I'm ready to go and excited for what's to come. Um, and my like little personal win for the week or a week and a half here is I started the new a new workout, and I haven't sprinted in I don't know how long. Um, and the fact that I was able to, not 100%, but I was able to, and I was doing it, and I was enjoying it, and I loved how it made my body feel. Um, I think that's a huge win because I never thought that I would enjoy that again. So yeah, just liking where I'm at and how I'm feeling, and that my mental space where I'm at right now is awesome. So I'm
I
happy
love
about
that.
that.
I love that. And guys, just to add to that, like, seasonal, they call it seasonal depression, and you are in the Midwest, are you not, Michelle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a really
I
real
am.
thing. I grew up in the Midwest, and it's a really real thing because of, the lack of sunlight that, I mean, we all have
Yep.
daylight savings time, but the Midwest does suffer, as does Canada, a little bit more with a lot of that. So it is a definite real thing. So don't, knock that, but the fact that, your energy back is back, that's just comes from that consistency too. Um,
Agree.
you know, and I love that you're challenging yourself with the sprint. A lot of times you guys like I've done this with a few of you and you're like, where the fuck did this come from? One, it's harder to get your steps in right now, so it's a perfect time to add in a little bit of extra. And
Hmm.
two, once you guys maneuver, when you first come into the program, if I was to throw something like that at you, you'd die. Right. So as you build up strength and endurance, to start to test your cardiovascular and to push that as well. You got to remember, guys, your heart is a muscle too. So we need to work on that. It's just hard to, our primary focus when you come in is let's help get the weight off, let's help to get you in condition, let's help to build some strength, get some muscle on you. But yeah, I know a few of you have been like, where the hell did this come from? Now, as you get to a certain place, I'll start to test your endurance and that's good because like you said, you never thought, and then pretty soon, and I've had a few of you guys that have messaged me and said, well, this was not fun. And then 2 weeks later, you're like, holy shit, you want to know how fast I sprinted? It comes really fast. It'll come fast once you start, so you'll be surprised about that. But I know a lot of you
Yeah.
throw darts at me. But cardiovascular health is good, and during the winter months, it's a great time to like push it a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
I think
yay
it's
for you.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Jen typed in the comments she's getting ready that she finished her steps last night even though she didn't want to, and that's so true, guys. If you listen to my story this morning, I talk about steps a lot. A lot of times, we hear, I can't get my steps in, and we all can get our steps in. We're all busy. It's just about creating the space and the time to do it. There's no reason why anybody on this call can't get 10,000 steps in, really. And I know some of you guys that are really busy that get in, far over 10,000 steps. So it's really about being an intentional and really, and this comes with anything that we do. It comes with the conversations that we have with ourselves and remembering that we're capable of doing anything. But if we tell ourselves we're not capable of it, then we'll never be capable of it. And I know it sounds simple and kind of ridiculous, but if you wake up in the morning and say, I don't have time to walk today, I don't have time to go to the gym, I don't have time to eat right, it won't happen. You've just told yourself that you can't do it. But if you wake up and you're like, I have all the time in the world today. I have all the freaking time. Like time is endless. I will get everything done today. Miraculously, try it one day. You'll get everything done. It's just about your mindset and where you put yourself. And front loading your day, guys, like I'm not trying to say this for any reason. Holy fuck, I didn't even know I had that many. Um, I'm not saying this to tell you that I'm any different, but I just opened my watch up. I thought I was going to tell you I had 7,000 steps in. You want to know how many steps I have in right now? 8,864. It's 9 o'clock. I didn't get up at the butt crack of dawn. I mean, I got up early. I got up early. I get up early, but I'm going to tell you this morning, I didn't hit the treadmill until 5:30. Usually I'm up and at it a little bit earlier. If I can have 8,000 steps in and handle 65 to 70 of you women, go to the gym, can anybody tell me why? And I spend about an hour and a half in the gym and I drive 20 minutes there and 20 minutes back. And I go to bed at 8 o'clock at night. Anybody tell me why they can't get 10,000 steps in a day? Raise your hand. I'm not being an ass here, but I'm being really real. Is anybody too busy to get at least 8,000 steps in? No, not, are you? You have to be intentional. If I can have 8,000 steps in at 9 o'clock in the morning, I've worked today too. Some of you have gotten messages and looms from me. Is this landing? Nicole gets steps in. She's probably got hell. It's Pacific Standard Time. She's probably got. I bet you Jen has. If I took, and Jen probably has a good. I'm gonna say 5 at least in right now.
I went for a nice long walk. I
I was giving you credit because I was like, I don't know if she what she had the stairs this morning or not. So I went low because I was like, I don't know.
I didn't do a workout this morning, so it was just cardio, but I'm at 8,000.
Guys, listen.
And I work 2 jobs too. You guys know I coach and I'm a teacher and I have 2 kids and all the things. I just make it happen.
You got to make it happen. 8,000 steps. And it's probably 6 a.m. in the morning there. So not really, that's just for like all of you guys to really be aware and like so and I'm just talking steps right now, but I want you to broaden that into like everything, right? And and again, I'm going to talk to Michelle for a second. So like Michelle lives in the Midwest. She's got winter, she's got terrible snow, and I know she averages, I think you average 14,000 steps a day. About, yeah. So, we can always find the reasons not to. I encourage you all to look for the reasons to do it. Look for the reasons to be able to push yourself a little bit harder. Ask a little bit more of yourself. You all have it in you. And I don't expect somebody that's brand new to be off and running with 10,000 steps. But, you should be able to get 6 and then go up the next week to 7 and then the next week to 8 and then the next week to 10. It's just about increasing those steps. Walking's the easiest thing to do, guys. And it's also the easiest thing not to do, specifically this time of year. So that's going to kind of lead me into what I wanted to talk about. This is a rough time of year, even for myself. I, I don't like this time of year. I love summer. And the fact that we just got dumped on in North Carolina really pisses the fuck off of me, heck out of me. Like, I hate snow. I hate cold weather. And the fact that I have to even walk, I don't know how many feet to my Jeep in cold weather, just annoys me to no end. I don't like it at all. I left the Midwest, no offense, Michelle, years ago for a very specific reason. But I still do it, guys. I still do it. I hate walking on the treadmill. I don't even like to use the word hate. I would prefer to get up in the morning and walk outside. The treadmill is not my jam, but for the past month, it's been my jam. I don't want to walk on it every morning. It's boring to me. But I've found ways to make it exciting. Well, I shouldn't say to make it exciting. I have found ways in the morning to distract myself. So this morning I listened to Amber for an hour. She had loaded me up with a bunch of things that she was asking me questions on, and she had some stuff for me to review. And so I just said, okay, great. I'm just going to listen to her for the next. And she wound up killing a whole hour of my time. I was completely distracted. Other days, I'll open up the app and I'll just start messaging you guys. And
You're
I'll
welcome.
respond to comments and things like that. And that'll just so look for different things. Like a lot of times we want to sit in the morning on our phone, doom scroll. And why not do it? Why not answer emails? Why not do things like that while you're walking on your phone? Find ways to make it easier. Find ways to multitask. Find ways to do more than one thing at a time. I do it all the time. Story of my life. We are capable of doing more things. I was going to go someplace else with that, and I completely shot right out the side, outside of my head. So, uh, like literally, I had a thought right there that I was going to add on to it, and it was something that I wanted to say, and I didn't. But I see Amber's off of mute, so I'm wondering if she's got something she wants to add.
I'm getting ready to go for a walk, and I was going to say you're welcome for taking up your time this morning. I just woke up. It's 6 here, and I work nights, so this is very early for me. But while I'm up, I'm going to go ahead and get my steps in for the first time before 10 o'clock. What?
Look at that. See, like there you go. We've got coaches front loading, and and there I have now entertained you for your walk. You can turn on your.
Yep, I get to listen to you.
All right, guys. Who else has something they want to add to that? Any thoughts, feelings on what I just said? Or you just
Jules,
yeah.
it's Jess.
Hi, Jess.
Hello. That's my biggest problem so far is getting my steps in because I work from home and I sit all day and I've been used to sitting all day for 3 years. So I set alarms for myself, although I've not been very good with them, but I set alarms for myself every hour to walk 5 minutes. You know, it's just to get myself going so that after work I don't have so much to do. And also another thing, so that's like one of my things that I'm going to try to do. And then another thing is last night I definitely have to front load. Like I'm going to work on getting up earlier because I'm not used to getting up earlier. I got up early this morning, which is not normal for me to do. So I got up, but I didn't walk, but I put some laundry in and stuff I don't normally do. So that was some walking around the house, which I don't normally do. I'm pretty lazy. So I did that, and that, so I'm just going to try to get to work on getting up earlier, because if I get steps in the morning, I think that that would be perfect. That would really, because my job is stressful. So at the end of the day, I am mentally checked out, and physically I feel checked out, just checked out, and so I'm doing my stuff at night, but it would be much easier if I could get most of it done during the day. And then last night I got on the treadmill, and I think the treadmill's boring too. I'm just staring at my basement, So I usually, sometimes I'll have like a good playlist and I'm really into it and I'm like dancing on the treadmill and going, and it's really fun. But sometimes that's not going to do it for me. So I started listening to a book, like an audiobook. And so I had to force myself, because I wasn't really listening to it. I was just focusing, like, oh my God, get this. I just want to be done with this. But if you sit and you focus actually on what they're saying and what in the book and picturing the background and all this stuff, so it seemed to help a lot. But just some things I'm trying to do to make walking better for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New. It's very new. And here's what I'll say to you, Jess. I want permission to coach you a little bit here
Yes.
in your thought process. All right. So the one thing that I'm going to say here is you're not a unicorn.
Right.
Okay. Um, I'm not, I can tell you, Coach Jen isn't. There's several people in here that sit in front of a laptop all day long, right? Coach Jen's a teacher, and then she coaches in here. I sit in front of a laptop all day long. And if you think for 1 minute, I love you all. I'm holding your hand when I say this, that you are not high stress and that I am not checked out at the end of the day after doing check ins. I love you all, but I take on a lot. You are a lot of energy. You all have different energies and you all have different things going on. So when I'm doing check ins, guys, woof, it's a lot. So I understand. But I also understand this is change. So it's going to take, I commend you on looking for all these different ways. I agree with you. I would get up in the beginning of the day. I'm going to give you 2 reasons why you should get up in the day and front load your day. One, it's going to get your steps in. Two, it's going to set you up for your stressful day. The days that I don't take the time and when I say I get on the treadmill in the morning and I look at your messages, I don't do it first thing. I take a few minutes before. I don't just hop open the app and look at you guys would like my whole day would be like yikes. I take time to ground myself a minute before I open up the app. So I'm usually have had a little bit of me time before I get on the treadmill and I pop open and I start doing things. But you have to look for ways to do that, Jess. So looking for those ways of getting up early, front loading your day, because you're right. Nobody, like Coach Jen just put in here, she was like at 9K steps yesterday. It's probably why she got 8K in this morning. And she was like, motherfucker, I have to go out and get those steps in. That's the other piece of it, Jess, is you got to learn to and all of you guys, hold yourself accountable. Keep the promise to yourself. Promise yourself you're going to get whatever your step goal is. I think if you're around 6,000 steps or something like that. So you make that promise to yourself. And every time you end the day and you look at that watch and you see that you got 6,000 in, you're going to feel so good, Jess. You're going to feel so proud of yourself. And like I said on my story this morning, I didn't really mean to make this about steps, but one of the things I think we forget about, I probably made it about steps because several of you were not hitting your goals. But here's the thing, and I said this on my story, and hopefully it lands the plane for some people. I want you to think about who has kids. Awesome. Who's ever said, Jesus Christ, do they ever sit down? Holy fuck, they're always moving. Ding, 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 ding. Kids can eat anything, can't they? Fucking bottomless pits. Ding, 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 ding. Did any light bulbs just go off right now? They move. And as we age, we stop moving. Even your teenagers, you got teenage kids, you got young adults. I bet a lot of you are like, I wish I could keep up with them. They move. You moved more when you were younger. And in this day and age, I will say not all kids are like this because the freaking social environment we live in now isn't exactly accommodating to kids either anymore. But I bet you a lot of you guys have little rules and things around your kids when it comes to how much they sit on their ass because you know how important it is because you as a kid who's ever said this, get your ass outside and play because listen, you need to move your ass a little bit. You can't keep your ass in front of that video game. Why is it any different for you than it is for your kids? Think about that. And I get it. And you have to understand that this world has made it so easy and convenient for us to sit just in front of our laptop all day long. Because we have Uber Eats, we have DoorDash, we have Instacart, we have Amazon Prime. Guilty, guilty. Well, I don't do DoorDash or anything like that, but Amazon Prime, guilty. Having my groceries delivered, guilty. Like, yeah, I do that stuff as well. But it's, it allows us to take less steps. So it's hard to find those ways to move. So we just got to look for them and be very intentional about it instead of saying, I can't, looking for ways, like my favorite saying, and this is why I say it, move your ass more than you sit on it. So every time you're sitting and you recognize you've been sitting for a while, I do the same thing. I'm like, oh, damn, I got to get up and move. And Jess, I'll say one more thing for you, and this is for anybody else that sits a lot in front of their laptop. And this is something that I learned in the corporate world. It has nothing to do with exercising. You're going to be better at your job if you do what's called a state change. So if you stay in front of your laptop and you work and you're going from meeting to meeting, email to email, your stress levels are going to raise. You're less likely, or I should say, you're more likely to say something pretty shitty in an email and to react or respond if you have been in front of the laptop. Same with me, with you. Like, I got to move. I have to. I still do these things. I still have this habit from my corporate job where I sat in front of a laptop all time long. It's called a state change. Changing your environment for a few minutes. So going for that 5-10 minute walk when you're a desk jockey and you have this is going to not just get steps in, it's going to change your environment. So when you come back to your desk and that email that you wanted to fire off to somebody, you probably have a totally different mindset. You're like, okay, I'm not so pissed anymore. I think I'll handle that. So it's going to have different effects along with your health. I see I have 7 messages. So let me just see. Leslie's going to Cabo. Well, enjoy Cabo. Thanks for rubbing that in. Kate, walking pad was a game changer for me. Absolutely. Because, guys, I have a walking pad. I'm not always on it. But here's the thing, if you have a walking pad, and I'm not always on my walking pad because I'm lucky. I have a condo that has treadmills. So I just go get on those. But a walking pad, like, listen, use your walking pad when you're watching your favorite show or at night when you want to doom scroll. If you sit down to doom scroll, I love Kate's, space to that. If you sit down and you find yourself starting to doom scroll, catch yourself and be like, well, bitch, if you want to doom scroll, get on the damn pad. Have rules for yourself. Create your own boundaries. Amy's gonna have to be late for work. I don't know what she's talking about there. Stacy W, one suggestion, because I sit for a living, set an alarm for every half hour. Easier stay energized and walk for a couple of minutes. It's also as releases stress, just what she's changed. So that's Stacy, and I know Stacy's got a stressful job. Stacy's a judge. I think her stress level goes through probably past all of ours. Oh, Amy's going to be late to work to get all her steps in. Good for you, Amy. I think she's her own boss though. All right, guys. What do we have to add to this? I didn't really mean to talk about steps, but I think it was actually a really good conversation. Because this is applicable to anything. This is applicable to nutrition. This is applicable to working out. It's applicable to everything. We're our own worst enemies. And as much as I'd like to say that nobody likes to hear this, but it's so true. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's how we use those 24 hours that's different. And I know like that's the most, everybody's like, no, you don't, but we do. We all do. It's the difference is how we use those 24 hours.
Oh, I think it also is like just the difference between like prioritizing yourself first. You
Mhm.
know, as women, we just naturally have tended to put everybody else first, especially like if you have kids too. Like it's all about doing for everybody else. And then all of a sudden we're put on the back burner. And it's no wonder we're burnt out, we're frustrated, we're angry, we're irritated. And then we just go and, well, I'm speaking for myself, just go and reach for comfort food to like soothe and unwind and deload for the day. And so when you prioritize yourself and you set the tone for the day, like you're able, for me anyways, just being a busy mom and a wife and teacher and coach and like doing for everybody else and a lot of energies, like Jules was saying, taking on a lot of energies and everything, like when I put myself first, I'm able to like give myself better to everybody else. Like I'm in a much better mood. I'm joyful. I'm happy to be around because I've taken care of myself first. It's like, Jules always says with the airline stewardess, they always tell you to put your oxygen mask on first before you put your kids on. If you're not taking care of yourself first, if you're not putting your rocks in first, then you're not able to give your best to everybody else. And so I think that's like a really good point. And to add to the distraction part, like I made a promise to myself that I was going to read more. And so because it's cold and I too am not a winter person, and don't get me wrong, it's nice in Las Vegas, let me tell you. It is nice to get outside, but there are some days where it's really fucking cold. And I made a promise to myself to read more. And so I just get on the treadmill and I'm like totally distracted by a whole chapter of my book, or like whoever it was that said that she listens to audiobooks or something like that. It like it's a great distraction. And then all of a sudden I've walked, 20, 30 minutes and I'm like, holy crap, okay, my steps are good to go. So it's just like those little things that you do every single day that, again, building those habits, stacking those habits on a daily basis that, you know, get you to where you want to be.
Yeah, I love it. Distractions. Distractions, and that's it. We're so used to prioritizing, and again, that's where I say, guys, it falls into everything else. It's so easy to say I don't have the time or I can't, but look, start to my challenge to you in the month of February is look for the opportunities. Like, where do I have an opportunity to move my body more? Where do I have an opportunity to create more space for myself? Because Jen is very right, or correct in the fact that if you're not prioritizing yourself, that's when things start to slip. It's not just, we didn't get our movement in, we might not have hit our nutrition and it's not necessarily that we didn't want to. We started to fall into older habits of comfort, of how we can comfort ourselves, because that's another thing for the majority of our life. Food has never really behaved itself as a fuel. It's been more of an entertainment source for us or a comfort source for us, and flipping that switch too. And so it's really easy to fall back into those patterns, specifically this time of year, you know, very specifically this time of year. It's easy to say, mm, you know, and use that food as not an entertainment, but just a way to de-stress, to relax. And it's super normal because 90% of the US sits down in front of the television, specifically when it gets darker at night, and enjoys snacks, right? So it's a hard habit to break because it's just something you're used to doing. Replace the habit with something else, walking your treadmill.
And also, I wanted to add to that. So I have a lot of people that come into my work and say, "Oh, I had such a hard week. I want something really fat and greasy." I'm like, "What? You earned that, right?" So it's really not it's really not that it was earned, but it's just weird where our minds take us. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you feel like you've been so good that you deserve this treat that's really taking you in the opposite direction. It mindset.
Yeah. Amber works in the restaurant industry. So, yeah, very true. I'm sure you see a lot of that. Yeah,
And I
exactly.
just shake my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, at the end of the week, you're right. People just want to do that because it's just how we are programmed to be. So, take the time to like look for those little windows. Like, can I create more space in the morning? Can I create more space in the evening for myself? Like, you hear me talk a lot about anchoring your mornings or anchoring your evenings and your mornings, and it's really good to bookend them, with having some routines or creating just space for yourself on either end of your day. It really will make some really big changes and even how your day flows. A lot less stress, easier to get things done. You'll feel better. It's really like it is a proven fact that what you do with the first 60 minutes of your day will set the tone for the rest of your day. 100%. And it's very true because I've seen it go both ways. There are days that I have broke every rule that I own and I open up my phone and I doom scroll and I do something really ridiculous that it my day just goes to hell when I do something like that. But if I get up and I hold myself true to keeping myself and to a morning routine, it doesn't have to be. You don't have to sit down and say kumbaya and cross-legged on a pillow and meditate. You can go for a walk. You can stretch. You can drink your coffee. You can listen to some music. You can listen to a book. It's all just about read a book, write, journal if you do like to journal. It's just about creating that space in the morning for yourself before you tackle the world. I'm not telling you to go out and take an ice bath. Some people do that, but I'm not telling you that you have to get up in the morning and write 30 pages in your journal and take an ice bath and, do all of, no, but creating something because then after you complete it, you're pretty proud of yourself. And that's what sets the tone for the day because you're like, I did that. I'm awesome. Amber's going to have a hell of a day today because she's going to be so goddamn proud of herself for getting up and walking, something that she doesn't. She gets her steps in, but she's front loading her day early in the morning.
Which I do, but very rarely. And right now I'm freezing, my nose is running, and I'm like, ugh. But I know after this, I'm literally going to be like, probably at 20,000 steps by the end of the day. I don't know. We'll see. But it is exciting to see where I'm going to be because I still have my whole workout to do and everything. So
Yep.
it's cold.
It's cold. Anyway. All right, guys. Good call. Does anybody have anything they want to add to that? I don't know. Brittany, Tracy, Tina's. I don't know what Tina this is. I see one Tina over here. Hi, Tina. I don't know who the Tina is hiding behind the screen. Not sure. Was this call helpful? Yes. Did it help a few people? Helped you, Jess? Stacy, off camera. Did you want to? You just saying hi to me, Stacy.
Hi. No, I was just can you hear me?
Oh,
I've
there's
got my
two
AirPods
Stacys.
on.
I'm looking
It's
over at.
Stacy's.
All right. Hi, Stacy. I see you down there. I was
Hi.
looking at Stacy W. Yes. Hello.
Hi. No, and it's a good reminder because it's a reminder of something that I've known because for over 20 years, I got up every morning, Monday through Saturday, and I ran
Mhm.
before the sun came up. That's what I did. But I was in a totally different career and lifestyle.
Mhm.
And then I changed careers. Well, I retired. And then, long story short, I got comfortable. I quit doing that because I quit running, which I still miss to this day. So I know that I'm capable of it, but I would normally get to work with around 10,000 steps from the get go.
Mhm.
But I didn't sit at a computer all day. I was up and down, up and down, up and down. And like people would have to walk with me to my car to get a signature. I was just constantly, I was going, going, going. So it's a good call to remind me of where I've been and to that I can do that and I know to do that. It's just getting me back into that, getting up before the sun comes up and getting out before. And it's a beautiful thing. February is the hardest month. It always has been.
Mhm.
Sorry, I have a cat that wants to be on the call. But but it's reminding ourselves too about putting those boundaries in. And it's a lesson I learned a long time ago, and it's a lesson that I'm having to reteach myself again.
Mhm.
Because now people know, oh, Stacy goes for a walk around lunchtime, so you're not going to get her around that time. And so like my new supervisor had to learn, but I had to teach her, and Jen knows because I was griping about it last year. I was like, she won't freaking leave me alone. She won't freaking leave me. I can't get a break. I can't get a break. And then finally I was like, if I'm going to stay here, this is what's going to happen. And now we're back downtown working 3 days a week and 2 days from home. So I'm at home today. So I have more flexibility, but I'm like, I'll take my phone with me, my work phone. If she wants to contact me, she can contact me on that, but I will get back to her when it's appropriate. And so, and I thought to myself, if she doesn't like it, she can fire me or I can leave. And a lot of people don't want to have the cojones to do something like that, but it's a lesson I learned a long time ago, Jules, and you were with me when I went through that of
Mhm.
not letting people pull me in so many different directions. I'm like, here's the left and right limits. I will still do what you need me to do and I'll be there for you. And I am a team player, but I'm going to take care of myself, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so I just wanted to throw that out there because it's not something, we have to pull ourselves back in again. It doesn't mean that, because now I'm in a different lifestyle, different environment, it doesn't mean that I get to stop doing those things for myself. I still have to, but it's a good call to prompt me, but I did that. Um, but hearing the coaches say it again, I'm like, that's right, that's right. And like this morning, I was like, when did I start having coffee before I went to the gym? I used to drink the coffee on the way to the gym. And I'm like 30 minutes. I just wasted 30 minutes having coffee watching the news. What the hell is that all about? When did I start freaking doing that? And I was like, ah, yes. And I started looking back. And I'm like, that awareness, right? That's where it's at. I'm
Mhm.
like, remember when you used to get up at 4:30 every single morning and drove your husband freaking crazy, but you were like, sorry, sweetie, roll back over, I'll turn the light off.
Mhm.
Just, it's things that we already know it's in the back of our head. It's
Mhm.
there. You
Mhm.
got to listen to it.
Mhm.
It becomes easier.
Mhm.
It was just part of my life for so many years. And then I stopped it and now it's like coming back. So
Yeah.
I would just say that.
No, I love that. And that's real life. That happens. We have ebbs and flows and seasons. And just to add to a little bit of what Stacy said is one thing that, be aware. She was aware, looking at her coffee cup. What the hell am I doing? She didn't judge herself. She didn't, get angry at herself, but it's that awareness and that observation. And when you start to make those observations like she did, that's exactly, I love that you shared that because that's an observation. And then you all of a sudden go, wait a minute, what am I doing? And even pulling back. And I will say, when I first started working with Stacy, she probably had the highest stress job of any woman I've ever worked with before, and that's all I'm going to say. And she did allow herself she did everything for everybody, and her relief at night was like many of others. And she sought relief in, well, I don't think she cares if I say this, a wine bottle. I mean, and that's what it was. She didn't, but it was because she didn't have boundaries. And like she said, we worked really hard, and she was in a very male dominant career with a lot of stress where we had to, it wasn't easy for her to say no, not right now. But that, I love that she brought that up, because that is the biggest key. Is it's not about it's not going to happen. It's about just no, not right now. And people will learn. I was in a high stress job before this too. People learned. They learned that I was going to walk into a meeting with food. In the beginning, they looked at me like an idiot. Then after a while, if I didn't walk into a meeting with food and start eating in the middle of it, they were like, "Are you okay? Are you sick? Why do you not have food?" Because I was the girl that walked around the office with a free, like they were like, "You never are not eating." And I'm like, I was just always eating. And they didn't, after a while, they didn't care. But it's hard to do that. And the first, they also learned, just like Stacy said, there were certain times of the day you weren't going to find me. At that time of my life, I trained at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I did it specifically because I needed a break from my work. It was a way for me to flip a switch and come back fresh. And everybody knew. I didn't say I'm going to the gym and I can't talk to you. They figured it out after a while, but I would say, because it was on my calendar and it still is on my calendar, I would say, "I'm sorry, I can't help you at that time. I have something else."
I'd like to add to that too, Jules. I think being aware of the culture that you're in is also important, because the culture I was in was, like you said, male dominant, high stress, but it was a drinking culture.
Mm,
I mean, unless you've been there, you just wouldn't understand, but it just is. And you're like, well, you don't have enough hair on your chest, that kind of thing. It's just stupid as hell. Just stupid. But I was indoctrinated into that. And, after working, an 18-hour day, you're like, have a beer. Let's just have a beer.
mhm,
And then a lot of people were smoking. I don't smoke. I didn't smoke. But I'm just saying, but then like switching to this new culture that I'm in, everybody sits at their desk and they eat. They don't walk. I'm like one of the only people, and a lot of people I work with are very much overweight, and it's part of their lifestyle, and I know that, but I don't try to impose my lifestyle on anyone. But if somebody wants to talk macros, I'll talk macros with them. But they're looking at me like, "Oh my god, this is the person who brings five meals in a day." I'm like, "Yeah, I do that." Um, and then she's the one who's out walking. I'm like, "Yeah, I did get somebody to walk with me the other day, and she never did it again. But I'll invite people if they want to. I'm like, hey, you want to go for a walk? We can talk when we walk." And they're like, "Nah, I'll pass. Another time, another time, another time never comes." But I think it's good to have that awareness of what kind of culture you're in and ask yourself, is that a healthy lifestyle, that culture
mhm,
where everybody's sitting there eating Chick-fil-A, because at the bottom of my building on the first floor, there's a Chick-fil-A.
mhm, mhm,
And all these people come back up to their desk and they sit there in front of their computer eating Chick-fil-A.
mhm,
I don't say anything, and I'm not judging, but
mhm.
I am very much aware that
Yeah.
that is that culture.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think, and that's not judging. That is, again, awareness, just like the coffee cup and what the hell am I not going to the gym right now? It's awareness of your environment and making those pivots and changes. And I'm gonna add, and again, there's also the awareness of your environment. And I'm gonna say to this, in the beginning, it's hard to be, now I'm gonna use the word unicorn. It's hard to be the unicorn, the one that's different, the one that stands out, because we as humans, don't want to be the one that doesn't fit in, that somebody we might be, or it might not even be we don't fit in. We might not want to upset the apple cart for somebody else because we want to make sure that they feel important, seen, and heard, and that we don't make them uncomfortable by not doing what they're doing. So I'm going to eat the food because Aunt Betty made it or the boss brought it in, and I don't want them to think I'm disrespectful or any way, shape, or form, or I don't want them to judge me. There's all the things that rattle through your head. And so that's the hardest part to do the thing that puts you first. Again, I know because when I first started this, I was like, people are going to think I'm weird. People are going to judge me. So the thing that about the environment is being aware of the environment and then being okay to be yourself in that environment as well. Because you'll make shifts and changes. And it's okay, like Stacy said, like I used to do those things too. Sure, you want to talk to me? Come on. We're going for, right? Come on. Now I'll catch you when you get back. Cool. And the great example of that is that was their choice. They create so something that was very urgent that needed to have your immediate attention. When you said, sure, great, have you got my immediate attention. I'm going for a walk. Come with me. Nah, that's okay. It can wait. Oh, huh. Guess it wasn't so urgent. Nothing's ever that urgent. So, good call. Helpful call.
Yes.
You guys always steer calls in different directions. I love it. You guys matter. Put your rocks in first. Again, your February goal is to look for those little minute areas in your life where you can find that time for yourself, whether it's getting steps in, a little bit of self-care time, grounding your mornings, your afternoons, creating those spaces. I like the theme of awareness for February. I also like Kate's no non-negotiables, or what did she say? No negotiation February. I think this goes right along with it. Good themes for February. All right, guys, speaking of that, I am going to go to the gym. Have a good week.
Have a good
Bye.
workout. Bye.
Bye. Have a great day.
You
Bye.
too.